Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha. Guru Deva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sarva Mangala Mangalle Shive Sarvartha Sadike. Sharanye Trambake Devi Narayani Namostute. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Shri Paramagurubhyo Namaha. Hrim. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 18th of May 2026. I want to offer prostrations, Anandakoti Namaskaram to all the great sages and to Bhagavan, Paramatma residing everywhere at all times, in all places, in all beings. We are continuing from yesterday to examine the deficiency of Mada. Mada means pride, arrogance, intoxication with self-importance, egoic inflation, and many other such words could be used. Remember the list of 10 items that we have been going through, and this is now continuing on that list. This particular deficiency is perhaps quite central to the problem of life and death, Punarjanma, cycle of birth and death. It is central to the unhappiness that happens in one's life. And it is very much experiential. Because Mada, meaning pride, arrogance, intoxication with self-importance, egoic inflation, it is a powerful movement within the mind and of the mind. 2 points. Let's go very carefully and slowly. When we use the word mind, in Vedanta, this is called Antakarana. Manas, Buddhi, Chit, Ahankara. Mana, Buddhi, Chit, Ahankara. These 4. The same, we have put that in a different way, in more modern language, in Angel Wing program as TEMDE. If you have not written this down, please write it down, because this is fundamental to understanding every single key point and then eventually reaching that realization. So the TEMDE is right on your hand also. Thought, emotion, memory, desire, energy. Isko memorize kar dena. Memorize these 5. Right? So this is critical for our clarity. Because we have thoughts, we have emotions, we have feelings, we have memories, we have our desires and wants and cravings, and we have energy, Shakti. These 5 are universal to every single person. It doesn't matter who they are, where they are, what age, race, creed, beliefs, doesn't make any difference. These 5 are in every single human being. All right. So when we are looking at these 10 deficiencies, the deficiency of Mada, or the dosha, as in the Sanskrit we say dosh. Dosh means faults, inner enemies. Dosh means fault. Shatru means enemy. So antar shatru, antar dosh. Antarik shatru means internal enemy. This is an internal enemy, not the internal enemy maybe. One of them at least, right? And it is an inner fault, inner deficiency. The Shad Ripu is talked about. Ripu also means energy. It means enemy in the Sanskrit language, right? So different ways it is described. Our goal is to properly and thoroughly see what it is. And it is a very subtle, sukshma, and powerful movement of the mind and within the mind. And the movement inside is not a physical movement, it's the movement of the subtle body, sukshma sharir ki kriya. That movement that activity is so powerful because it has a lot of energy. Bhagwan ki shakti hai wahan. It is through that process, through that movement of the mind, that a person, an individual, becomes inwardly intoxicated by attributes, by qualities that a person may have that appear to elevate that individual above others. I hope this makes sense. It is about self-elevation. So yes, we all have some good qualities, at least. But then we get into comparison, I have this quality, others are less than me. I'm better than others. I'm more wealthy than others. I'm more intelligent than others. I'm more powerful than others. And it goes on. So this is called inward intoxication. This is called Mada, M-A-D-A. And then there are 5 words in English that describe this. You could have many more, but these 5 are the ones we'll keep in contact with. They are pride, negative, harmful kind of pride, not the good kind of pride. Pride, arrogance, A-R-R-O-G-A-N-C-E, intoxication with self-importance, and egoic inflation. 4, not 5. But these 4, we will focus on these. This 4, keep that as a basic definition. Egoic inflation is inflation, and it is intoxication. As we said yesterday, intoxication we think of in terms of alcohol or drugs or whatever. Yes, that is there, obviously. This is egoic inflation. This is inward intoxication. This is called Mada. What an interesting word. Amazing, right? To really probe and carefully. Now, the quality of Mada, or meaning the experience of Mada, is coming from Ahankar. Ahankar means me, the strength of the me, the I, ego. And that ego is such, it moves the mind, it's our driving force, right? But Mada is such that there is an intoxication by that. For example, if somebody wins the Nobel Prize, winning a Nobel Prize is fantastic. As an example, let's use that as an example. Person could be extremely humble and give all the credit to previous teachers, gurus, etc., whoever have come. And then they have their own accomplishment. With humility, they accept it. And even better is to give the credit to God, give the credit to Paramatma. Okay, there's ways of doing that. But somebody who doesn't do that, winds up in this Mada, may appear humble, may speak some respectful words, but internally they are inflated. It's inflation, egoic inflation, self-importance, and then praises are coming. This is what is sought. Praises are our wages, as Mark Twain stated. Wanting to be praised by others. 10 people, 15 people, 100 people. Going for interviews, getting, these nice invitations to give lectures and getting $10,000 per lecture. This is called Mada. Again, our goal is not to find people's faults or anybody's fault. It's to recognize this kind of activity that is going on throughout the world. And that's a driving force to be appreciated, to be glorified, to be recognized in multiple ways. And please listen to yesterday's talk. I'm going to load that. I have a bunch to load. I'm getting backed up again. I'm trying to stay on top of all this. This intoxication can arise in many ways. From power, this is a big one. The capacity to influence, command, or control persons, situations, and outcomes. I'll break it down. Somebody could be in a position of some sort, powerful position. They can influence three things: people, life circumstances, economic circumstances, like the Fed chair position or something like that, and the outcomes of many people's actions, outcomes of all kinds. To influence these three, to command these three, command persons like, leaders, the big politicians and leaders of armies and this and that. I want to be in a position of command, that this is, I'm in this position to command others, which means, to control people's actions, to influence situations. This is called power. And anybody who wants that can never get mukti. Impossible. Anybody who is stuck in that is trapped. You'll never get the glimpse of the Atma until this is gone. Sorry. There is never going to be a glimpse of the Atma or Paramatma as long as this pursuit of power is there. It's never, under any circumstances, going to happen. It has to completely be gone. Otherwise, that wanting to be in position, power, control others, this position, that position, to influence others, to command others, to change situations by my own will, I'm the one doing. This is asuri vritti. Isko kehte hai demonical vritti, asuri vritti, this thing. And this has caused phenomenal amount of damage and pain in human civilization, and it continues to do so even today. It happens at all levels of society. How can anybody get mukti? It's never going to happen. That's why Jivatma is trapped inside Maya, because of all this. And when a person gets into a powerful position, even a little bit of a promotion and 5 people are reporting to you or something like that, and people are giving that respect, sir, and this and that, and and every word you speak, somebody's following that, and it will destroy spirituality. Spirituality to prashna hi nahi rehta isme. This is called Mada. Look at these aspects. This is only the first one. There is the intoxication of power, intoxication of knowledge, intoxication of beauty, intoxication of wealth, intoxication of lineage, intoxication of spiritual attainment also. I briefly touched on this yesterday. Incredible. There's the intoxication of knowledge. Knowledge, what is knowledge? Is organized understanding, learning, or intellectual capacity. It's good to have. Obviously, we need to have that. One can get inflated by that. That's what happens in the universities mostly, right? I've seen it myself, because I used to be an adjunct professor. They're competing with each other, the professors, assistant professors, trying to get this publication, that one, trying to maintain a very professional and respectful, calling each other professor and all that, but they are internally trying to knock the other person down or knock them out. I've seen this. Myself, I've seen this. Is लोगों का कल्याण कभी भी नहीं होता. Impossible. That's what they're trying to do. They want to progress. Good to progress. But they want to progress over others. They want to knock out others. They want to compete. They want to bash somebody else so that they can. But they do it in a very sophisticated way. In the universities, they don't do it like how ordinary people might do. It's called sophisticated ego. Think about it. And then, when you have those research articles, they want to get their name added to that. So that they can get tenured. If they get tenured, they want more promotion. They want to become a full professor. And so that they want to do all that, so they get a lot of praise. And they get a lot of money. And they have to do minimal. This is what they want. They want minimal, not everybody, but many of them. They want to be a full professor, to do very minimal activity, to get a lot of time off, to get a lot of praise. A lot of students and others will do publications, put their name on there. इन लोगों का कल्याण कभी भी नहीं होता. Sorry. कल्याण तो भूल जाओ, but they are trapped inside sansar. What will happen to them, because they're taking advantage of others, doing wrong things and all that? They will wind up in terrible situations later on. बुद्धि का नाश, वो जो बुद्धि भगवान ने दी थी, used in a wrong way, उसका ही नाश हो जाता है. That's what happens. Knowledge का अहंकार. If there is even knowledge, and then the desire for position, so it connects together. You can become an associate professor or tenure, but become a full professor is very difficult. You have to have a lot of qualifications. It's good to do all that, but then to do it in a way that doesn't hurt others, doesn't harm others. It's done in a highly competitive way in the university life. Highly competitive. And then grants are coming and money is coming, and there's a system there, but the ahankar that comes with that, if that remains, a person will live for some time. As soon as they die, they will wind up, to deal with that thing. They'll wind up, God knows where they'll wind up. Who knows? Because they have the ahankar of that thing, and they have tried to progress by bashing others, putting others down. भगवान कृष्ण कहते हैं, I place these people in different wombs. गर्भ में, ऐसे गर्भ में जाते हैं वो. Where they'll wind up in a situation where hardly education will be available. They'll be born in some family, extremely, a family of that kind, unfortunately. They'll be born in such a way where they have no opportunity for education. They're illiterate, begging on the streets. Things like this will happen to them. This is what happens to people with ahankar. Saap ban jate hai. Become a snake if you have too much greed for money. जैसी वृत्ति ऐसी स्थिति. इसीलिए ये सब छोड़ना पड़ेगा. There is no option. There is absolutely no option in this. Otherwise, this constant drive, it has very, very serious repercussions later on. Not just this life. This life maybe hota hai, and next life maybe. This is called the Mada of wealth. Mada of knowledge. Knowledge is beautiful. Knowledge is for seva. Knowledge is not for increasing the ahankar or gyan. Aata hi kahan se? Bhagwan mein se aata. It comes from the source. It's not ours. It's been given to us. We are accessing that. That is called Mada. So this is why when we worship Mahasaraswati, Om Aim Swaha, that we are connecting with the Mahashakti herself. And that Gyan, that supreme wisdom, knowledge, is belonging to Paramatma. Wahan se aaya hai. It's been granted to us, and to be not for egoic inflation. It has been granted to us for the purpose of seva and for our own development. Like the university example I give, so the professor is progressing. The professor should be mindful that how can others also progress further? That to be happy in the progress of others. Not to be happy, so-called happiness in the bashing of others. Let all progress. That kind of vritti will be, that everybody will love such a person. Yeah, there's a system, there's a hierarchy. That has a purpose also. We're not denying that. This is the power of satsanga. भगवान की प्राप्ति कहाँ होती है, कैसी होती है? This transformation has to happen. And this is why So much suffering is there, right? So anyway, we want to understand these points, that the Mada has multiple domains. The position, power, that's one domain. Status and all that. And then the knowledge ka Mada aa sakta hai. I'll just use myself as an example. I've been creating these recordings. We do these recordings every day, but there's on this Vedaras of Bhagwan Swaminarayan. In the whole world so far, as far as I know, nobody has ever given an exposition. Sachin might be the first person in Gujarati trying to give an exposition on that. Hamare mein aisi koi taakat nahi hai that we can do that, Bhagwan ki jaisi krupa. But if 5 people, 10 people start saying, what a nice exposition, they make some good comments. If I internalize that, I'm finished. Even if one person gives some good comments and I start holding on to that, wo sab zero ho jata hai. Then the activity, same activity of giving expositions, doing research, doing that, will be done through ego. In the appearance of spiritual realization. That's not spiritual realization. That's what happens, right? When certain groups of people, few people start praising somebody, our ego gets inflated. We don't even realize how it can happen. It can happen so easily that I must be that. I must be so great. So watch out for this. So this is called the intoxication of knowledge. Kya baat hai? We don't think of it this way, many times, but it's there. It can be there. Yes, you could be a great pandit, a great scholar, have PhD degrees and things like that. And if the aham shunya bhav, aham shunya means there is no ego in this. If that bhav is not there, then one will get intoxicated by knowledge. Yes, it's a lot of capacity. वो भगवान की शक्ति है. There's the intoxication of beauty. Interesting. What is beauty? Beauty, a valued form of embodied attractiveness or aesthetic distinction. Simple, small definition. Embodied attractiveness. 10 people. Somebody who's so very attractive, creates an attractive response. When we say a person is very attractive, what that really means is, let's say a woman is very attractive. That means that the form and the shape and all that thing of a woman is very attractive, is creating a response within the brain and mind of others. That response is the attraction, right? This is attraction. So the person who is able to create that response can get ahankar of that response, can get ahankar of that ability, can get ego of that ability. I hope that makes sense. This is called ego of beauty. This is not spiritual beauty we're talking about. We're talking about the physical level, basically. Men, women, others, whoever. Look at all these fashion models and all those things that are there. What is all that? It is the response of attraction and pleasure. Isn't it so? So there's the ego of that capacity to create such a response in others. इसका मद आ जाता है. That's very, very fascinating बात है ये सब. Amazing. There are 2 more which we'll cover. There's 3 more which we will cover. Wait a minute. There's 4 more. Wealth, lineage, status, and spiritual attainment. We'll cover those tomorrow. I'm going to try to stick to time. I know everybody is pretty busy. And I also have a lot of stuff to do. So I'm going to try to stick to time here. From 8:30 to 9 o'clock, we'll do just a half an hour exposition, a little bit at a time. Because this can go on for hours and hours and hours, right? So, आप सबका आशीर्वाद है. Let's stop here for now and then we'll pick it up tomorrow. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvadom Ganganapate Namaha Om Hrim Swaha.